No. All right. Here we go. Reverend Joe,
Good
how are you,
evening.
sir? Let's see if we can get this overlaid here. So, but yeah, I am fixing to cut a tree tomorrow. Huge oak tree. Hey, Miss Lori.
All
Let's
right.
see here. I'm getting all these notifications that Paul Case and everybody is on here.
Mute that one.
Yeah, I don't know if this is where all the cool cats hang out, but this is where some folks hang out anyway.
Well, if it's a problem, I can leave. You just tell me.
Hey, Rudy. Hello. Hey, Serena.
What kind of oak tree is it?
I don't even know, to tell you the truth. I'm not a big oak tree identifier.
Yeah.
I got two of them that's growing up. They're right beside each other.
Mhm.
And hey, there's Skittles and Glitter and Heather.
Did you tie a yellow ribbon around it?
It'd take a
Anyway,
long one.
I'm fixing to start trying to build me a shed, a shop there. So I gotta get them trees laid down before I do it, because I'm still scared. Look, I'm gonna video it. I'm gonna make a video, or that's gonna be in the video I'm gonna make tomorrow. And y'all may see a crash because it's up against the old barn. And that's what I've been doing this evening. So late trying to move. Hey, there's Musgrave Family Farms. And there's Miss Kathy, all the way from Mississippi right now.
I video a few of them when Kevin cuts them down.
Hey,
And
Ace.
I like to be way back because if I'm very close, it seems like I'll mess it up with the video and it won't work out. But
Hey, Marianne. Is that how you say it? Marianne Bimler?
Marianne.
Hello. Oh, yeah. Working second shift. Oh, so you having to be up then. Can't be going to sleep. We went, oh, there's Dakota. And you can tell it's Dakota by the way hello is typed.
hey, Dakota, how's it going?
How are you, Ace? So, but anyway, yeah. So we're gonna
Ace.
cut that tree down tomorrow, and so there may be a crash in the situation. Oh, Angie, how are you too there?
Hi, Angie.
We're the Three Stooges up here.
Hello, Willow.
Here it is.
I need to
Let me see
actually
if I
go.
can get it to. I'll see if I can get this to go. And
Vita.
here we go.
That's a big one.
Oh, yep, that's a big one. Yep. Oh. Yep.
I didn't hear anybody say timber.
It's a big one. All you heard was it's a big one.
That's a big one, and it's what a mess. I mean,
Hey, Javita.
you get one that's that big that lays over in the woods. It takes a bunch of stuff with it sometimes.
Yeah. Well,
we got into a bunch of them that had vines in them, and we've had a couple of them. We had to go cut down a couple of other trees so they would fall. They had so many vines growed up in the top of them.
Oh, mercy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I am trying to get. What am I trying to do? I don't even know what I'm trying to do here.
Hi, Evelyn.
Hello, Miss Evelyn. And Heather?
Yep, I'm over here. I can't see right now. I'm trying to get.
Hello, Javita.
Shared. All right. Okay. Anyway. But yeah, we are. If I can get over here. Yeah.
I bet the cedar trees that Jennifer's talking about are not like ours. Our cedar trees have a red heart in them. Probably those ones that grow way up north where she's at have a brown heart, and they'd be more like what the lumber is you can buy that's cedar at the lumber yard around here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
see. Let's see here. Paste.
Yeah, Dakota, I wish I had some burning done, but I'm gonna wait till May until it gets about wet enough you can't start the piles on fire. That way it don't wrap up everything else. I think we've got where we've been logging at on Scott's. I think we've got probably between 10 and 15 acres under brush piles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, mine is there's Miss Evelyn Newman. Hello. I'm a little late on that, I know. Anyway. So yeah, that's what I was doing. So I'm sitting here right now. I got a wet butt. I was just telling Mr. Paul, I said I hadn't eaten supper yet. I hadn't got a shower yet. And I'm sitting here with a wet butt because I was on the forklift trying to move stuff out of the way where these trees has got to fall. And I got my forklift stuck. Well, actually, Daddy's forklift stuck. Oh, rule 2IC. Hello.
Hello, brother. Hello, Jeff.
Well, you would have to be in very certain locations where I'm at to be able to get anything stuck because we are dry.
We have had, I just put it in this morning. Hang on, let me look. Let me go to my app. I can tell you exactly.
We probably had a 10th inch of rain on Saturday night. And on Sunday morning, there's not even any puddles anywhere. You could see new tracks in the dust.
All right.
So, all I've got is dust.
Yep.
We've had since January 1, we've had 16.4 inches of rain now. Since January 1.
I bet we haven't had 4. I don't
had all that snow and stuff, didn't you?
We
did. Dad, hello.
A foot of snow makes like an inch of rain, and we only had that one, maybe twice. I don't think we've had 2 foot of snow through the winter. But back last fall, late, we got a bunch of rain, and it made the wheat take off and everything. And now they got some fields of wheat that look like they're going to die. It's just weird. You drive down the highway, and it looks like some of it they've top dress is really green and lush, and then right across the road from it there'll be a whole bunch of it that the top half of it's brown.
Yeah. We have not had that issue here. Like we got I think it was 9/10 I had in my gauge this morning. What you got, Chris?
That's how much rain. Oops, let me get over here.
Wow.
Yeah, over there.
That y'all have had?
That I've had where I'm at.
Wow, 3, gosh. Man, we went there for a while. We was getting it at least 1.5 inches of rain, everything we got. And this morning, my gauge had, like I said, 9/10 in it this morning from just what we got last night. So, and like I said, where I was getting the forklift stuck, it was on a ridge up there, but I'd had some other stuff sitting there, so the moisture was sitting under it, and I drove up on it. But when I jumped on the tractor, I jumped off and I jumped on the Mahindra, going to hook a chain to pull it out. I never looked down. The seat on the Mahindra was full of water. So I just sit down.
We had enough rain that my skid steer that's been sitting in the woods for a week, the seat on it was muddy.
Wow.
Did you get it? It's muddy.
Yeah.
My truck sitting here in the driveway, it looked like I had just showered it with mud after that little deal we got where that all blowed through so hard. And we finally got enough to wash the mud off from it.
Yep. Who else? I'm trying to see. There's James Hall. What's up, James?
Hey, James.
Fisherman 506.
Oh, I can't remember his first name.
I spit for about 30 seconds the other day. Does that count? Desperate. My gosh. It looks like the radars. Y'all ought to be catching some of that. It looks like it's coming through.
Yep. Has this bad habit where I'm at of going, whew, and it's gone.
But it got the lightning was waking me up last night. It was lightning so bad it got rough here for a little bit.
I don't know.
It was calling you, Trey. It was calling you to come out.
Yeah.
There's not a lot published about it, and I don't know how far over there Chris lives, but somewhere near where he lives,
Yeah.
there is actually a dry line, and they call it, in Oklahoma anyway, they call it the Indian Meridian. And everything west of there is dry, and everything east of there gets more rain.
The
And
Indian
it almost split.
Meridian?
Yep, it almost splits Oklahoma in half. I'm
Uh,
thinking it's kind of where along I-35, sort of.
Well, I'm
And
2 miles east of I-35.
yeah, they get more rain west or east of there by quite a bit than what they usually do west of there.
yeah.
And
That's like what Dakota's talking about there. It gets what we got here.
you count to 100?
Rudy, I don't always let people on that I don't know. Who is Rudy? You know Rudy, Chris? Because they jump to get on and they don't have a picture up here. I'm not a big fan
Well,
of.
I know my subscriber mode is on. I don't know if I don't know if Ace is modding in my channel or yours.
You like Vineyard Chicks, and your favorite member is.
I'm working on him.
I was just trying to make sure.
Yeah, we don't want you to have any difficulties with lightning because we know how you are just with electric fences.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
With electricity, period.
And bug zappers on your deer feeder.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it's working. I don't think
Yeah.
it's working.
He's not in my live. I
Mm.
mean, he's not in my restream tray.
Let me see. I'm looking here.
I'm not even. I don't even have mine brought up.
There's Paul Cases. Let me check his real quick. I don't see him in Paul Cases.
So Miss Kathy said it rained in Mississippi. Yeah, you should have got a lot of that come through. It got rough. And Dakota, what I was saying a while ago before this popped up, Dakota, what you talking about there, 60% chance last weekend until Friday afternoon. That's what we normally start getting here in the summertime.
Yeah.
I see a Redfern Holmes or Rudy Fern with Autism Homestead in your channel, Trey.
Yeah.
Well, Trey, I don't want to brag, but your dad's in my channel.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I'm a pretty popular guy like that.
I haven't got him to come to my channel yet.
Yeah.
Even though I'll say hello to him every time I do see him.
He comments on some of my videos. I appreciate him watching. I appreciate anybody that watches any of my videos because I realize you got choices and you don't have to. You know.
All right, Rudy. I'm gonna give you a chance here. Anything?
No, don't. Hey!
No.
Don't. No.
You don't know?
Because I mean, he's got a bunch of videos, but I don't see any pictures of Rudy.
If that's,
You know, I don't see anything about it, and it's just he's got a name and it says that he's got autism and all that. But other than that,
yeah, I told him we don't normally. I just don't normally. People
don't make the
don't
mistake
know.
I did.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
it's your channel, boss. But
yeah, I know. We ain't. I ain't gonna take the chance on it. I'm sorry, dude.
We appreciate it if you have clothes on anyway.
Yeah. It's been some moments there.
Thank you, Jennifer. Skittles and glitter. I appreciate
it. There's the Indian Meridian line, Paul.
Yeah, learned about that whenever I was in Oklahoma history. I never heard of it before, and you don't find that on maps or something like that. But they called it the Indian Meridian, and they said everything west of there was more dry, and east of there always received more rain. Yep. Tim and Dana, glad you're in here. Welcome.
Yep. What's up? I didn't even see Tim and Dana come in. I've been looking at everything else. Yeah, Miss Kathy from Resourceful Living. Me and Jessica went Friday night and had lunch with her in Mississippi. So, yep, it was nice catching up with Miss Kathy.
I did something Saturday that's really out of character for me.
What's that?
My wife's birthday's coming up, and I told her that I was taking her somewhere Saturday. Don't make any plans, and I drove her to Atoka, Oklahoma, and bought her lunch at Reba's place, which is Reba McIntyre's restaurant and bar. And we had a real nice lunch and bought her a t-shirt. My mom has been a big Reba McIntyre fan in the past, so we bought her a coffee cup and came home. It's only a 3-hour and 20-minute drive down there, so that's one good way to eat up a day if you want to go do that. And it was really nice. She says it was worth it.
How are you? High Country Homestead. Yeah. Is Miss Anita available like anytime if I need to text her or something tomorrow? There's not no certain times. I don't.
No.
You're gonna finally get me a real Our Louisiana mug.
I gotta wait for the draw, and I know it's been dragging out, but we've just got to get a chance. Me and Jessica's got to sit down and do it.
Yeah, I think you can text her anytime. The only thing she'll be doing is watching grandson. So
okay, well, I need to holler at you about something tomorrow or something if that's okay.
Yeah.
I got your number.
You'll get along a lot better if you use your inside voice. It's took me 30 years, but I've finally got it down. If you have to holler.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Jovita loves Reba McIntyre. Reba grew up in a town, what we figure it was 6 or 8 miles from Atoka,
something like that,
and a place called Stringtown, Oklahoma. So
Trey, I don't know if you caught what I did, but I did do something.
Okay, I don't guess I did there.
In regards to that private chat that you were getting.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, Dakota, I think that they have messed up our weather patterns, and I don't know if you can repair that. I know the government would screw it all up worse if they tried to repair it.
Yeah. It's a
constant.
I'm
getting ready to ban this guy.
Yeah.
I put him in timeout, but he's still popping.
Yeah.
I never did get timeout when I was a youngster. I got time in.
Time in?
Always time in. You want some more time in the field? So you can, and my daddy grew soybeans when I was a real youngster, and it was a job just to keep the rocks picked up so they wouldn't wind up in his combine. Yeah. Oh, Reba has a lot of Jennifer out there.
Just got it.
I can't even remember. I've had so many favorites of her music that I can't even remember where it started at. But I mean, all the way back in the early 80s, we were listening to Reba.
Oh, yep. Reba. Oh, come on, dude.
All right, because I put him in timeout on the chat. Can somebody else do something?
Let's see. Okay. I'm not seeing him. Well, it's not.
It's in private.
Making it home there. Yeah. If anybody that's on Chris and them, can't nobody see it. Only people that's on me.
Mm-hmm.
You're making up for it now, Paul. Ain't you see it? Oh, man.
When I was a youngster, my mom was in the Reba McIntyre fan club, and Reba came to Joplin and played a concert at Memorial Hall in Joplin, and we got tickets and went to it. And because we were in the fan club, Mom got some backstage passes, and we got to go back and meet her. And forever, I had a picture that hung up with my 4-H and FFA trophies and plaques that was me and Reba. And I think I had a radio station sticker that supported that concert, and the ticket stub and my backstage pass was all in the same thing. And when we moved once, all that went in a box, and I don't know where it's at now. I guess those things that are really important at one time might not be so important later, but it was fun. We enjoyed spending the day together. I have a lot of thoughts about people's driving, but anyway, nobody knew we went or came back except we told them, because there was no evidence. Like, nothing's going to come out in the paper about Paul speeding or not wearing his seatbelt, and that's good news. It's good news.
Do you speaking of look, do y'all have these little old things up there that sits on the side of the road and clocks you and sends pictures, takes your picture and sends you tickets?
No, not so much, but I understand the BIA is the one involved in putting these in Oklahoma, and we have some. There's a couple of them right by a corner that for all of my lifetime has been a yield, and they put a stop sign up there. But trust me, I would be on their honor roll if they sent out tickets with that little deal they put up at that one, because I ain't never stopped. I'm like, that's been a yield sign for 40 years that I know of. So,
Go.
No, well, we got them down here. It's every little town is popping up. They've got the cops is still copping, not as much as normal. And they've got one of them things in every little town you go through here.
Yep.
What is so bad? Let me tell you what's so bad about them. I've done got like 2 of them, and I ain't had none of them because it's whoever's vehicle it is. All my vehicles is registered to me. So if it gets them, the ticket comes to me.
Mm-hmm.
It don't come to the person that's actually driving the vehicle. Yep. Exactly.
Dakota, I have heard that about her, and I've liked people that sang, even though I didn't care nothing about their politics. So,
hey, there's Tony.
Yeah.
Hi, Willow.
I'll tell you, there's some things about that. Taking a picture of your license plate and sending you a ticket. First ones of them I ever drove through, they would take a picture of you if you drove through a yellow light in Memphis. And we went over into Mississippi and picked up Sawmill and pulled home on Valentine's Day weekend. And we went to church with them folks down there before we left on Sunday to come home. So it was after dark and we're coming through Memphis. Well, a Sawmill has no brakes. I'm pulling a 25-foot long 3-ton trailer that has no brakes on the trailer. And so, you gauge it and you get to a certain point and you're like, I've got to go through this light because I could not stop on this side of it. Yep. And I'm pretty good gauge of that. I can do it really proficiently because I have never been in an accident at a stoplight because of it. And it took a picture of me.
Hi, Peter.
In Memphis.
Yep, it will get you. Hey,
I don't know what year it was, but because of the Sawmill behind me, they couldn't see my license plate.
Yep. Petty Jean River Homestead. Hello.
Yeah.
He was in Trey's live is where he was at.
Yeah.
Yep. It was just in our.
It's took care of. He's right. Gone now.
Whoa,
and I hate it. I like I said, it's just hard to with somebody you don't know.
Yeah.
It's
There's Lauren. Lauren had a birthday.
I thought her birthday is coming up.
They was doing birthday celebration, but I don't know. They only got one live a week, so.
Because I believe hers is this coming. No, wait, that's not her. Okay, wait a minute.
Anita's the 26th. I think that's. Wednesday.
Well, I need to put that down on my phone then so I can make sure I say hello and happy birthday to her.
Well,
Yours is Wednesday. Now, I've been taking care of some medical bills that was supposed to be taken care of by our insurance company. And I'd call to talk to the hospital, and they would say, well, I need proof that you are, she is your wife. I said, okay. And she said, what's her birthday? And I'm like, man, I remember that. That's the 26th of March. And she says, well, what's the last four of her social? And I'm like, I don't know how many men you think know the last four of their wife's social, but I have to say my whole social security number just to remember the last four of mine. And both times that they've done me that way and I laughed at them, they said, well, I see what you're saying. What's your address?
Yes, Heather, you were correct. It was the 20th for Miss Lauren's birthday.
It was the 20th.
Yep.
And she turned 22.
You know where you go for lying?
Rambling with the Brums. Hello, I missed you coming in.
Where do you go, Paul?
Washington.
Oh, no. I've been there once for a conference. I'm not. No.
Well, I had an old friend of mine that said, you know where you go for lying? I'm like, where? He said, Africa. They don't have lions around here.
Paul, you need to write all this down so you can have 1,000 quick jokes from Paul Case Farm Sawmill.
Yeah.
He needs to write him a book. He just needs to write him a book. That's what
I'm saying.
Nobody can read my writing. That's the problem.
Paul Case stories.
Yeah.
Stories of the great Paul Case. Well,
and at the end of the book, it's like, he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. It'll be the end. Lies, all lies.
Look at all these
59.
All these young people.
There's Avid. Hey, look,
Avid's in here. Oh boy.
Yeah. Look, back to a comment while about go by Skittles and Glitter. Look, next time if you get to Mississippi for anything, you need to let me know. I'm not but about 45 minutes from Mississippi, and maybe from where you was at, it would have been a little bit further. But I mean, you got to let us know.
No last page in my book. Just leave it all blank back there at the back, and just get to the point. Yeah, I have an email for complaints. If you have a complaint about this live or anything else that I'm involved in, you can send your complaint or type it out. I don't care what kind of language you use, nothing like that, and send it to casesawmill@live.com. You'll feel better. I won't have to read it.
So you're 442 miles or 8 hours and 35 minutes from me. Yep. So I got to figure out, I figure the halfway point is around either 10 killer or something like that for both of us.
No, I'm for 10 killer. I think I looked it up. I'm like 6 hours and 42 minutes from 10 killer.
Yeah, I'm only we're a little more than 2 hours, I think, to the meetup from here.
Yep. I'm trying.
But we was talking about what they're doing, taking pictures of your license plate and sending you tickets in Oklahoma, and they have been working on getting this enacted. And I think they've got all of it done now. They have switched to something called Pike Pass or Plate Pay on all of our toll roads. And what that amounts to is you either call and get them to send you this little deal that sticks on your window and charges you, but they take money out of a credit card that you've let them have on file and put so much money in an account they hold for you to hold that Pike Pass. Or they take a picture of your license plate and send you a bill. Well, and I don't know about the others, but all the ones that I've drove on, and I don't even remember the name of the one. It might be the Creek Turnpike, but the Will Rogers Turnpike goes from the state line here in the northeast corner to Tulsa. It's 90 some miles long, And if you go Pike Pass, it's like $8 or $9. If you go plate pay, it's over 20.
Oh,
So they double if they have to bill you.
so
Yeah.
Well, I'll
James
say
said he's
this:
5 hours from Ken Killer.
I have, because I moved from Texas, I have what's called a NTTA toll tag, North Texas Toll Road Authority, and you know, I was like, okay, well, and so I started looking into the Oklahoma turnpikes, the Kansas turnpikes. Well, they accept it and all that, and so I was like, making sure, but that I, you know, I didn't have to change over. But like you were saying, Paul, I pretty much have $40 in that account that they take from my debit card,
Yep.
and until it gets down to like 20 or 25, and then it resupplies.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do that, but you know,
Well, I'm kind of like Jennifer Ocean. I don't mind some of those scenic routes, and there are a lot of 4-lane highways in Oklahoma that are not toll road. But when they do that, I mean, they'll have you. You'll be on a toll road before you realize it.
Oh man, I hate going through Texas. If you're going to go somewhere other than the interstate, because it's confusing.
It depends on what time it is.
Small town country folk, you know, it's kind of confusing to us.
When you go from here to Tulsa, used to, they had made a bypass that went around Tulsa, and you could drive on that, and it was free for a long time. And then they called it a turnpike, and they directed all traffic to go through it, and you had to take an exit right after you get off of the Will Rogers to go through downtown instead of being routed that way. And the bypass that they made go around there, when they had toll booths on it, had 3 different toll booths. Yeah, if you were going through all the way around Tulsa to get back on 44, it'd stop at all 3 of them and pay. It was like 90 cents or $1.25 a pop or something like that. And they had to do that because they had to catch you. And there was several different places you could get on it or off. Yeah.
Yep.
No. And that's the thing with
the
toll roads in Oklahoma. They put them tolls on there years ago, and they said, "Oh, it won't take no time, and it'll be paid off, and we won't have the toll on it." Well, about the time they get to one of those points, they raise the prices and start doing more road construction.
Julie says they really bad. The roads in Oklahoma.
Some of them are, and some of them aren't. You know, I've heard people complain about Missouri roads and say Kansas roads are better. Kansas has a higher, you could ask Dale about this, they have a higher tax rate on properties because they don't have as many people that live there, and they have to maintain those roads.
Wow.
All I can tell you is that, Trey, if you're ever in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, about 2:30 until about 8 p.m., you don't want to be on any roads in the Metroplex because it's a cluster.
It's a cluster. We've took several trips going through there, and we're gonna get off and go eat or do something, and I make a turn and I get tickets in the mail. I'm like, I didn't even see nothing. I whatever.
Pothole.
I refuse to pay them, and Jessica just pays them.
Well, James, I'll tell you this: on Highway 82, when you get into Cook County, over into Grayson County, on Highway 82, you're doing like this, and it's like up and down. Yeah. I remember Highway 82 for sure.
Julie said, "Tell her where the Oklahoma roads are good, Paul."
Some of the toll roads are sort of smooth, and we drove Highway 69 all the way from Miami to Atoka, and there was quite a little bit of that was not bad. There's some of it you want to drive in the left lane because the semi trucks have the right lane all rutted up kind of, but yeah.
Yeah, let me go let the dog in.
Northern Illinois.
It'd be like Shreveport. Shreveport, you never go through Shreveport where they're not doing some type of road construction on the interstate.
They call those little orange cones that they set up in Oklahoma as our state flower, and they bloom all summer.
Yeah. Let me tell you, you talking about one of them old, what do you call butthole pucker moment. When I went to go get that cow, we went through there. Well, before, as you're getting to the 220 loop that goes around there, it said no commercial vehicles down the interstate. You had to take two. I'm like, well, we ain't no commercial. We good. I seen why soon after, because you had about 6 inches total wiggle room from side to side all the way through Shreveport.
Mm-hmm.
You notice who's not here right now?
Who you talking about?
You know who I'm talking about.
You talking about Amy? Are you talking about Amy?
I am.
Oh,
I'd be
Amy.
watching. I'd be keeping an eye on your back.
I give Amy fits last night. I got on Chris's live.
She pulled a Paul Case.
She take off, did she?
She did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, she's probably here. If you wait, there'll be a comment here in a minute. She's lurking. She's a silent listener.
I just love Amy and Chris. They're dandies.
Oh, I love Amy. That's my little bougie friend.
Have you seen their new baby that she's got? The Americas? Have you seen that one, Troy?
Yeah, I did.
That thing's a little cute thing.
Yep. That's right on the MTA song.
That was fun.
He hadn't said nothing yet. So, yeah, Mr. and Miss Walter Job says she's stalking. Yes, well, she's lurking. I guarantee you she's listening. Now, but anyway, yeah. Hang on. Nope. It ain't Mr. Johnny Gillum.
Look at there.
Happy birthday.
Yep. Happy
Would you
birthday.
like me to sing you another version of the birthday song?
He had his cake and ate it too.
I think they really liked my version of the birthday song earlier.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing, Mr. Johnny?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm doing good.
Yep.
I went fishing today, and my fishing trip turned into a turtle shooting expedition. I think I ended up getting about at least 23 or 24 turtles. And that was in
where was you at? A pond or a lake?
Or farm pond.
Pond, yeah.
Or farm pond. I was I didn't have any bait, and I kind of messed up because I made a plan, and my goal for today, howdy Ace, my goal for today was to go fishing. That was it. That's what I want to do on my birthday, go fishing. So originally my plan was to get up this morning and just go fishing. Well, yesterday evening we saw something on Facebook Marketplace, or I saw something on Facebook. It just popped up. It was plumb down at Heavener, Oklahoma, which is quite a ways. It's 2 hours and 40 something minutes from the house. And so I just kind of told my wife about it, and she said she'd ride with me, and we jumped in the truck and just took off. Well, when we got it, I wanted to unload it, but I wanted to unload it at the farm. I brought it here last night where we live, and then I had to unload it down there. There was things that involved, I had to do with that. So my fishing didn't get to start until about today. Didn't actually start till about 3:40 maybe, and I fished about 15 minutes and didn't have him. I was going to go get bait. I was going to go get minnows. I was going to go get all kinds of stuff. So all I could use was a few lures I had in my tackle box, and I didn't get a bite. But man, there was just turtles everywhere. Just
Yeah.
And I was like, I hate turtles. They're going away. So I just got my pew pew and got on my tractor and just rode my tractor down there and just sat on the tractor and just, because you can use all kind of things on the tractor as a rest.
Yeah.
And it's pretty comfy to sit on it, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So but anyway. And hey, Tony, I think we need to watch for a video. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
I saw Opicon Homestead in here earlier.
Yeah, Dakota was in here.
Dakota. I wanted to mention Dakota real quick. He said something about the grid heater on my Dodge pickup, and so I had no idea what that was. I actually thought they still had glow plugs in them and stuff like that. But there's a grid heater that heats the air intake charge so that you can start one of these things whenever it's cold. And there is a fail point on that. And on my 6.7, my 2500 truck. So I researched that, and yes, there is. So I just wanted to tell him thank you for letting me know about that, because I'm going to do what it takes to avoid that problem by buying an aftermarket kit and replacing all that stuff.
Does your 5.9 not have one of them?
My 5.9 doesn't. It's not the same on the 5.9s as it is on the 6.7s.
Yeah, my 5.9 had one and it worked, and you could tell it worked because the stupid thing, if you had your headlights on or even the interior lights, after you'd got it started for maybe as long as 2 or 3 minutes, that thing was still cycling, and it would draw on your battery.
Yeah, no, the 5.9 trucks don't really have the problem. It's the 6.7 trucks have a, what it is, it's a stud that goes all the way through. It goes from the top side where you actually bolt, the wiring goes to it, the hot wire, and it goes all the way through. And there's a nut on the bottom side, which was in the intake. So what happens is that it heating and cooling and all the arcing and all that kind of stuff, it will melt that nut on the bottom side, and eventually it will just fall off and fall right into your intake manifold,
and that ain't good.
And then it will work its way right to number 6 cylinder, and that's usually the end of them as soon as that nut gets to number 6.
Yeah, them pistons and stuff don't like that too much.
Yeah, there's something about compressing that metal, and all that stuff. So anyway, but they make a fix for it. They make a few fixes for them, and they're not really all that expensive. And I was thinking, well, I can put one in. I'll just do it here at the house. I'll put it in and do a little video of putting it in,
Yep.
Angie, if Johnny said stud, he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, boom, Tony says. Yeah.
Boom, yeah.
Yeah, I said stud. That's right. There is a stud with 2 nuts on it. One on the top and one on the bottom. But anyway,
what was it? You just had it was just something y'all brought up, or you've been having an issue with something?
Well, he said something about he was thinking about getting one of them trucks, but he was asking what's everybody doing about the grid heater issue. And I was like, I have never heard of a grid heater issue on it. And I hadn't. I know lots of folks that has them and everything else, but if you look it up on YouTube, it's actually a deal. So the way you can tell if yours is going to, as soon as you can, you can tell is there, it'll throw a couple of codes and it'll be like that it has some kind of a voltage issue to the grid heater. That's one of the things. The other thing is you can grab that wire from the top side, the one that's on the stud, and it's supposed to be really nice and tight. If you grab it and you can kind of jiggle that stud,
Here's your
nut
stand.
on it. Yeah, Angie, I said it again. If you can jiggle it, you better not start that truck again. You better just kind of have it record wherever you're going to go.
Well, I never knew anything about a Cummins motor having a problem where it leaked pressure oil out the side of the block either until it happened to mine.
Yeah, but where was it leak? What was it coming out of?
The side of the block.
There's got to be some kind of a orifice or a hole or something.
It was a crack or a defect in their casting, and it had gotten to where it would let the pressure oil come through, and it was right between, see, the oil pressure sending unit was like about that far down from the head, and that's where it was leaking, was between the oil pressure sending unit and the head. Coming right through the casting on the block. When you take and wipe that off, you couldn't see any like a crack or anything there. But you start it, and sometimes it would leak, and sometimes it wouldn't. And I got to noticing it because I would start that thing up and leave it set out here running for a little bit to warm up and quit sounding so hateful when it was really cold. And I go out there, and there'd be a puddle of oil about that bigger around than a gallon container, where it had lost a bunch of motor oil out on the ground. And
couldn't stitch it?
Do what?
Couldn't stitch it?
It was really hard to get to, for one thing, and I think if you went to doing too much of any kind of heating on it, like if you was going to run a well,
you didn't have to heat it to stitch it.
And I don't have any idea what you're talking about, stitching it.
Okay, what they do whenever they stitch something is they take and they drill holes all the way along the crack, wherever the crack is. They drill holes in there. Okay, they take these inserts, these threaded inserts, they thread those holes and they screw these inserts in. Then they drill holes between what they just put in, and they put those threaded things in. They've got sealant on them, every one of them. Then, and they grind them off every time they do it. They grind the whole head and everything off so it's smooth with the block. Then they actually are drilling if you can imagine, so you got two things that are this close, all the way down it. They've got where they put these studs in. Then in between those, they put other ones in. So you've closed up the gap. Then they actually drill the edges of each one of those all the way down through there and drill and tap that and put so what they're doing is they're stitching it all together. And whenever they get done, there's no heating. The only heat that you're going to get is whatever your grinder does whenever you're grinding it off. So you don't actually have to weld it or anything like that.
I can't see a person being able to do that on that one without pulling the motor.
Yeah, pull the engine.
You couldn't hardly get to where that was at.
Yeah,
he had took the front wheel off, and you could get to where you could see it from behind the front wheel. And I've erased it, but I did have video on my phone of when we started it up, and I had videoed that, and then we wiped that all off after we shut it off. You couldn't see no crack. It was just that the casting was too porous and had let it start
seeping its way through,
seeping oil out of it. Yeah. And the whole reasoning behind that was Cummins got cheap on them and farmed out some of their casting work to a company in Mexico.
Yeah.
And so they figured out that I had one of those blocks.
Yeah, that's what Glenn said there. You just about got to pull the engine out.
Yeah, you'd pull the engine. You'd want to pull the engine anyway. But I'm just saying you can save the block.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
So
think the guy I sold it to is still using it, and I think what he done was rub some JB Weld all over it.
yeah, and that's the other thing. You can take a grinder and you can just kind of grind a trough right down through the middle of that and just JB slather it in there, kind of make it a little bit rough so it'll grab it. And I've had a 350 Chevrolet one time that had cracked all over inside the lifter board,
Galley.
all that area.
Hmm.
And on the outside of the block. And what I did was I just grind troughs all the way through every one of those cracks and just JB welded the far out of them. And
Yeah.
it used it forever.
Yeah. I had one of those that I blew up pretty bad. It was in a C60 grain truck, and I was going down the road about 55 miles an hour. And at that speed, those are fully involved. I don't know how fast it was turning, but fast. And she dropped a valve, and it exploded the piston and the cylinder wall. And there wasn't anything hanging out of the block, but everything inside of the block was shrapnel.
Yeah.
And it emptied all of the antifreeze out the exhaust real fast.
Lee, it was not an early 90 motor. It was a 1978 motor.
Yeah.
78 small block.
I think that truck that I was telling you about was a 76 that I'd done that on. It would have been a 4-bolt main motor, but when you drop a valve, I don't care how good your crankshaft's held in there, something's going to give.
Yep.
However, since we're motor talking, I have a 1086 International. They have a smaller version of the 466 International truck engine for an engine. It's a 414 cubic inch. It has a turbo on it. I bought the thing in 2000, and I had baled less than 100 round bales with it, and it dropped a valve. And I heard a noise, and I thought, what in the world? And it was a terrible rattling, but nothing else had changed, and it went to missing. And I didn't know what to do about it, or if it was something or where to start looking. So, and I've been into some engines, and so I went and got my dad, and I started it up for him. He said, shut it off. It's got something bad the matter with it, and I'd say you need to take the head off. So we started working on it in the field, and I took the head off, and immediately, before I even got the head off, you could tell because there was no valve in one of those springs. And I pulled the head, and it had those have a fire crater in the piston that's about less than an inch deep, but it's got a hump in the middle of it. And it was probably about the crater's about the size around of a pop can. And the head had broke off of that valve. The valve had come completely down in the cylinder. And when it pushed it back up, it hit the other valve and bent the end of it. And it broke the stem loose from the head of that valve. And the head of that valve was laying in that fire crater, just going up and down and making a lot of noise.
Oh,
and
wow.
The stem of the valve was laying flat in the intake. Now, you want to talk about getting lucky. All I had to do was pull the head off. I took the head home, and I went to International and bought me 2 new valves, and I lapped them valves in those 2 holes with a drill. The piston was scratched up on the top, but it wasn't busted. And I bought a new head gasket and put the thing back together, and I used it for 22 years. 22 years, and it baled all the hay we baled, done most of our pasture mowing, and a lot of those 22 years, I had right around 1,000 acres of my own hay ground that I had rented and cow pasture, and so it was going over all of that at least once. And we tried to figure out the hours on the tractor, but there ain't no telling. The meter on it read 8,800 when I bought it, and it didn't work. And I thought it had a reman motor on it because the injection pump and some other parts were a different color than the rest of it. But what happened, that we did finally take the motor all apart on it was it went to, it had a rattling issue, and it would do it sometimes, and then sometimes it wouldn't. And we couldn't figure out what it was, and it was related to that dropping that valve all those years ago. Apparently, when it had dropped that valve, it cracked the wrist pin bushing in the end of the connecting rod.
Yeah.
And that had finally wore enough where it had cracked that wrist pin bushing that the thing come apart, and it was in two pieces. And whenever those would get together on one side, it would let it have slack to where it was rattling really bad.
Oh, wow.
And so, and Scott, I had give the tractor to my son, Scott, and he took it, the motor all down and done kind of end frame overhaul on it. But in 22 years, we had kind of figured up it would not be impossible that we had put nearly 20,000 hours on it.
Oh, wow.
And the tractor had 8,800 on the meter that didn't work when I bought it. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Bobby had put on there that he had a 400 small block that he cut in half at 130 mile an hour an eighth or something. Whenever he was running a little altered or something like that one time, but anyway, I was going to say I have a 455 Pontiac that's sitting over in my shop over at the other house. Well, I say other house. It used to be the other house, but now it's just where the cattle are, and they're in the house there. Mm-hmm. But over there in that shop, that I broke a 455 Pontiac motor completely in half. The only thing that was holding it together was the intake manifold and the oil pan. As soon as I took the intake off and the oil pan off, the block fell into two pieces. The connecting rods were still, kind of interwoven into it and stuff like that. But yeah, it's still in exactly the same place it was when I pulled it out of the car. It's still sitting right there in the floor because I was so disgusted with it. I mean, but the worst one I ever saw, when you talk about doing these fixes, is I saw a guy on Hot Rod. He was on Power Tour or something like that, one of those deals. And he actually broke a rod, but it didn't go through the block. So, it beat the bottom of the cylinder up and stuff like that. But what they did was, because they were still driving this thing. I mean, I think they were Canadians, and they were down here in Oklahoma, actually at Tulsa. And what they had done was they took and drove that piston, that piston was up inside the bore still. And they took a piece of 2x4 and they drove it up underneath it to hold that piston up in the bore. And then they took a cutoff wheel and they cut that rod off right there where it was around the crank, so that it would still hold oil pressure, the rod bearing. You see what I'm saying here? Yeah. See where I'm going with this? So they still had the valves and stuff up there were still able to do their thing. It still had, in other words, it wasn't just compression straight into the bottom end, because the piston was still up in the cylinder. Plus, it still had oil pressure on the bottom side. And they drove that thing the rest of the Power Tour on 7 cylinders with it like that. I mean, ingenuity. People do what they got to do
to get by. Yep.
So,
well, I've seen we've had some really bad blowed up motors, and we've seen, with my dad having a machine shop, we've seen some really, really bad blow ups come through.
That's kind of a testament to the engine, but it's also kind of a testament to the fact that necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
We didn't do it because we liked it. We did it because we had to, so we could go on. Yeah.
Yep. I blowed one up one time. We was fooling with some nitro, adding nitro in a dirt track car. And we just kept thinking it was one of them deals. Hey, if a little does that much good, what's a lot going to do? Let me tell you, it does a lot, but it's not good. It comes from it.
I had a 560 Farmall tractor, and the diesel version of that tractor was an old glow plug motor. I think it was like 282 cubic inch inline 6-cylinder. They were really hard to start, and I'd bought the thing with a blown head gasket, so right away I had to change the head gasket, and I took the head and had it all shaved off, and tried to fix it back right, and it worked good, and had a lot of power. And my dad borrowed it to do some mowing. We did quite a little bit of contract mowing pastures for other people from time to time, and he got a job doing that. And Mom was helping him, so he wanted to use my mower so they could both mow. And he calls me and he says,
Good.
"You're gonna have to come down here and look at this thing. I don't know what I've done to it, but I was just mowing along. I didn't hit nothing, but it sounds terrible." And so I went down there and we got the thing started, and he wasn't lying. It sounded like an old Johnny Popper.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't know what it is. And we tried to, you do that old trick where you take an extension and put it against the metal and put it against your ear, trying to figure out if that racket's coming from the bottom or the top. And
Yes, it is.
I'm like, I just don't know. And so we unhooked it and got something else for him to use, and I drug the thing home. And it was only supposed to be like 59 horsepower tractor, but it had a lot more power than what the gas versions of them had, because I had one of those too. And this thing, the big hill south of my house, it'd run up that in road gear and you didn't have to shift.
Mm.
And it might blow some black smoke, but it'd just go on up it. And we pulled it home and I tore it apart. And eventually what I found was it had broke the crankshaft into 3 pieces.
Wow.
I had never seen a broken crankshaft like this, and it didn't break where you'd think. It didn't break in the journals. It broke on the flat spot between the journals on 2 of them. And I'd never encountered anything like that, and I didn't know much history on this tractor. And remember, I bought it broke down.
Yeah.
And I talked to a guy at the machine shop that I use up at Joplin, and he said, "Oh, I bet you I know what's happened to it. I bet they've had a bearing lock up on it at one time, and it throwed the block out of alignment." And I'm like, I've never heard of this. He says, "You need to take your block completely apart and take it to this other guy. He's got a line hone and he can fix
line
it."
board.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. And that guy said, "I've never seen one that was so out of a line as this thing. I don't understand how your crankshaft would even turn in there." And he fixed the block up for me. Of course, then I had to come up with a crankshaft. And the way you do that on old stuff is you find a salvage that has one. And so I have a friend over at Frystat that I called, and he said, "Oh yeah, I've got one." He said, look at your casting numbers. I want to match casting numbers up." And so I tell him the casting numbers, and he says, "Okay, I've got one of those too." And I'm like, "What do you mean you got one of those too?" He said, "That's not the right crankshaft for that tractor." They made a smaller horsepower version of that motor that was a smaller cubic inch to go in the 460 Farmall. And whoever had worked on the thing before had put the wrong crankshaft in it. Probably was what they could get or what they could find cheap.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well,
Or may have just not knew they was getting the wrong one.
the difference was the pistons like this much coming all the way to the top. And I don't know how it would run because them diesels run on compression.
Compression, yeah.
And it was lacking by what the numbers on the stroke on those 2 motors said. It would have been lacking like 3/4 of an inch coming all the way to the top with the pistons. But it run good and had all kinds of power. So we put the right crankshaft back in it, and it was still running the day before I hauled it off and sold it to somebody else because the injection pump had quit. It was one of those straws that broke the camel's back situation.
Yep.
I think I had turned almost every bolt on that tractor.
Yeah, somebody was talking about aluminum blocks and heads and all kinds of stuff like that. My car's got my GTO has all aluminum block head and all that good stuff, and it makes pretty good power. I mean, it makes nearly 1,000 horsepower without any nitrous, and then whenever you spray it, it just really gets crazy. And I think we're going to get to go racing again. I think maybe the second week in April. I think we're going to go. They're having a class. I think it's some kind of wild 10-5 class that they're going to have down at Salisaw. I'm going to take it down there. So, but the stuff I'm working on right now is a bunch of small stuff. I'm really looking for a 258 CI block, inline 6. So if I can find one of the,
I don't know if Dad, if he's still in here, I don't know, he maybe done went to bed, but he might could help you with some of that.
I need a 258 came in the Jeeps.
Yeah.
I need a 258 block. I've got a block, but it's got internal, we'd stitch it, but it's got internal cracks in it and you can't stitch from the inside out. So, but I'm gonna tear it apart and go. I'm gonna look some stuff over on it anyway, because there's just some things that I'm kind of interested in that block a little bit. I'm kind of getting interested in this little stuff. I got this little F head 134 cubic inch 4-cylinder that has, it's just a totally different. It's kind of like a little tractor motor, but it's an automotive use motor. Yeah, but anyway, I'm just interested in working on all these little little motors right now, because I've worked on a lot of high horsepower stuff, but I'm kind of liking this. Going to work on some of this stock horsepower stuff.
Well, every time I think about how much horsepower my feed truck makes, then the next time I'm on YouTube, it recommends me to watch this video, and it'll be some poor Amish sucker that they went and got out of bed in the middle of the night, and he had to take his 3 horses down there to pull a cattle pot out of the ditch or something. And I'm like, 3 horsepower. 3 horsepower is enough. Mm-hmm. And I've got to have all this horsepower to be able to go feed a bale of hay,
Hey, Amy.
I think it's a kind of a different horsepower. Actual horses are all torque. You know what I mean? They're all torque. So,
yeah, Dad has CJ5, and he put a 331 in it.
Yeah,
they bought an adapter kit that would go up to the transmission that was in it. And it all bolted up and done really, really well.
I looked into that.
Are you talking about a small block Chevrolet?
No, it's 302, but
a Ford small block.
Ford, yeah, Ford small block, yeah.
See, I wouldn't be opposed to doing something like that if I could not have to cut the floor, because I've seen these guys do like the small block Chevrolet deal to them and stuff like that, and usually they end up cutting the trans tunnel to do it, because whenever the bigger bell housing that comes along with it won't fit underneath there unless they. And I don't know, maybe the Ford's got a different deal and you don't have to do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly, but it was an adapter, some adapter. I'd have to ask Dad, because I was 15, 16 years old and when we done it, but I don't remember everything. But it was a kit that he bought. And matter of fact, I think we took a stock bell housing, if I'm not mistaken. It was a particular bell housing, and I believe the bolt pattern was even right. And it all worked. I'm telling you, it was good.
Well, what it is the 4 bolts on the transmission, the actual transmission, not the bell housing. The 4 bolts lined up with the bell housing, so they were able to actually use it with the transmission that it's got.
Yeah.
Because I've heard, you can do that.
It was something that we had to put in there which it was, of course, a standard where the flywheel met. I don't remember. That was part of the adapter kit. I'll ask Daddy tomorrow. I guess he done went to bed, but I mean, it was a kit that, I mean, he went on, they sold the kit for it to put a
Yeah,
302.
they sell a kit right now where you can
Yeah.
buy the headers, the everything for like a CJ5,
Yeah.
where you can bolt, basically a small block Chevrolet right in them and stuff like that. It's just that a lot of them I see that have done that, they cut the trans tunnel and then they have to
Yeah.
remake it.
See, we didn't have to cut anything on his to make it work.
I looked into doing some of that kind of stuff. My son had come up with a pretty nice pickup, and right away the motor blew up in it. And it was an early 90s Chevy. And I said, why don't we look into putting a diesel in that? I think you could come by a little force. And he was just needing something to haul his rear end around. So we looked at coming up, and I could come up with a 4BT Cummins motor that would run. But the adapter plate set up to put that to a 5-speed transmission on Chevrolet pickup was more than the pickup and the motor costs put together.
That's the one engine I would really like to put in one of these little CJs is the 4BT Cummins.
Man, it would have way too much power, I think.
Well,
especially for one of those that was made for a little gas 4-cylinder.
Well, they only have 75 horsepower. They just got a lot of they just got a ton of torque because see my dozer actually has a 4BT Cummins in it. And it'll do crazy stuff, but of course the dozer gearing and all that kind of stuff and the weight and everything, but man, that's a good motor. I love the 4BT. I think that's probably my favorite diesel engine out there.
I had one of those in a 1840 skid loader, and the motor was the best thing about the whole deal. Doesn't say much for skid loader, does it?
You don't have a 4BT, do you?
No, I don't.
Well, if somebody, I'm going to start looking for one.
Hey, repower it with a Honda Predator motor. You'll never come up cheaper. You could do that with a belt drive, and you do it.
I know. I know.
The guy that's repowered his Chevy S10 with a 20 horsepower Honda or Predator from Harbor Freight. He made a roller chain linkage for it, and it still uses the same clutch housing and everything that the truck had with the transmission. So the clutch is the same, everything else is the same. He just set the motor up a little higher, and I'm like, yeah, but don't it sound like a lawnmower when you're driving through town?
Hey, I've seen it in person. I've seen it. I know.
Yeah.
It's easiest to buy a bread truck. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I've seen these bread trucks have the 4BT Cummins in them. And I know a guy that took one out and put it in a early Bronco, like one of a 70 or 72 Bronco, which, the one that everybody wants, Bronco.
Yeah.
And it was a sweet deal with a 4BT in it.
Well, I know a guy that repowered a Farm All regular with a Honda 13 horse motor.
Yeah.
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 I've got a 8-inch Ford tractor out here.
Frank.
They make a kit for it where you can do a 302 on it. They make a kit for that. And I'm up in the air because it needs to work, and that's when I get my shop done. That's going to be one of my projects, and I'm in the air whether I'm going to rebuild the original motor on it or if I want to do I don't know how useful it would be with the V8. I don't know if it would be. I need to do some more research on it. I've watched some videos, but all the videos you watch is people always just cutting up with it with a 302 on it,
Whenever we were contemplating putting 4BT Cummins in that Chevy pickup, Dakota my son had come up with a 671 Detroit he could buy for like $300 that run. And I'm like, I wonder if that could work. And you know what? They sell the parts. You could made a Chevrolet 5-speed transmission up to a 671 Detroit. And there was some guys that had done it. but the difference of the weight between the 350 V8 and the 671 Detroit made them have to completely redo the front suspension on that.
Oh yeah.
Those little 3/4-ton trucks only had torsion bar suspension on them.
Hi, Ed.
They put a solid 4-wheel drive front axle under it with leaf springs to hold all that up.
Yes, I can see that.
You can get into a mess. That's all.
The wildest thing I've ever been involved with was, I used to work. I don't know if anybody knows this, but I used to work for a company called Jericho Industries, and it's over here around Peggs, Oklahoma. And what we did was big, huge heat exchangers for the oil industry and stuff like that. So we had a little forklift that had a diesel engine, and the diesel engine went bad in it. Well, the owner, whose name was Jerry Rush, wanted to see if we could get that thing running with some other kind of an engine, because he was kind of a cheapskate. And so what we did was we came up with a 225 cubic inch slant 6 Dodge engine. Now we had to cut, forklifts are made out of extremely heavy steel. So if anything is in the way, you're cutting through steel that's this thick. So we had to cut sections of steel out inside there to where we could fit this slant 6 Dodge and 3-speed automatic transmission that was behind this slant 6 Dodge in the forklift. Of course, they mount backwards, right? So we got it all in there and everything. Then we came up with, oh, wait a minute. The pump runs reverse, the hydraulics. So what it did before was it ran off the transmission. So what we did was we turned the pump around. We had a actual collar made, and we could bolt it to the actual front, the balancer on the front of the motor. So it would run the right way from off the front, and then it would run the forks and stuff like that. But you know what our problem was with it? Once we got it all up and running and everything, it had 3 reverse gears and 1 forward gear. Because it was a 3-speed auto, and whenever you put it, whenever you're any forward, because of the rotation, that was considered forward or reverse on that forklift. So we had 3 reverse gears and 1 forward gear, and it was the fastest thing in the friggin' place. And we finally decommissioned it because it was too scary for anybody other than me and one other guy to drive, because we built it and we understood it and everything, but everybody else it was an accident waiting to happen. It was too, just immediate on everything.
I got a question for you, since you brought up forklifts. I got involved in a deal several years ago. I was needing another forklift to use here at the sawmill, and I had dealt with a guy, and the dealings that I had with this guy, and he had a lot of stuff for sale, but I thought he was kind of high priced, and I didn't ever feel like I got a very good deal with him. So I had answered an ad that a guy had a forklift for sale, and it was the right size. I had to have one that pick up 6,000 pounds, because they made us package those railroad ties in bundles of 20, and those weigh like 5,800 pounds a bundle or something. And I had to be able to load them on a tractor trailer. And so I called the guy. He said, yeah, it's at Tulsa at this location. He said he'd be there and show it to me. So I go to that location, and he shows up driving a pickup truck, and he goes inside and he comes back out and he says, well, yeah, this is the forklift they told me I could sell, and now they say they want to keep it because one of their others broke down. And I'm like, well, I drove all the way to Tulsa to look at a forklift that's not for sale then. He said, yeah, kind of. I've got another one that's coming up, though, Monday, and I could get it to you for the same price. And I'm like thinking this deal has gone fishy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then I go to talking to him. I said, well, how do you do it? Can I write you a check for it? Am I going to get to come and look at the thing? He says, no, I don't take any checks. You have to wire me the money.
Oh, God.
And then I said, well, where's your business? He says, I actually don't have a storefront. I sell equipment, surplus equipment for a lot of businesses in Tulsa and surrounding area. And he gives me a business card. And I'm like, so this is the only business you've got? He says, yeah. And I said, dude, I don't trust up on folks that, seem shady like this. How am I going to know if I give you any money that I'm ever going to get a forklift? He said, I don't know. I got one guy that does all my deliveries. You can talk to him. So I called this guy and I said, I've had some dealings with a guy that said you do all his delivering. And I wanted to know what your opinion was. And if I buy a forklift from him, am I ever going to get it? And he says, oh, yeah, you're talking about this guy. He said, yeah, I deliver all the machines that he sells. And if you pay money, you'll get it. I'm like, are you being serious? Because I had never done this before. And we wasn't talking about no little bit of chump change. They was wanting $12,000 for the forklift. And so I thought, I've done a lot of stupid stuff, but I haven't done any stupid stuff lately. So I'm probably overdue and I should just get it out of my system now.
That's how we
got the bank, and I wired the guy the money, and the forklift showed up, and that truck driver delivered it and dumped it off. He got on the trailer and drove it off for me and everything, and it was better than what he told me. Yeah. Titan machinery. And I thought that I had never heard of a guy not having a storefront and selling equipment like that of some sort. But what his specialty was whenever a company had equipment that they were wanting to liquidate, he would sell it on their lot.
We got a guy, or I worked on forklifts for 15 years. That's what I was a mechanic, heavy machinery mechanic, and on the Toyota forklift side. And we had a guy, anything that we traded for that was older that we didn't want to try to resell ourselves, he was basically a wholesaler, but he didn't have a storefront.
Yeah. That was the way that guy operated. And I was more happier with him than I was the guy that had two different stores and done his own delivering and stuff.
That's how I got both the forklifts that we got. I mean, I got my forklift. I think I give $1,500 for it.
That one was a Nissan 60, I think, was what it said in it. And it just had the 2-stage mast. It wasn't nothing fancy. It had 5-foot forks, which is really handy in some cases. Little Nissan propane engine. And I found out that was the same engine that Nissan put in some of their pickup trucks. And I'm like, oh, I don't go hunting for like starter, And around my sawmill, it got started and shut off a lot. And I had went through 3 of the O'Reilly lifetime guaranteed rebuilt starters putting on that. I'd actually got to where I knew what tools to get. And we would use the other forklift I had to tip it over on its side and block it up to where you could get under. Yep. Guys, I don't know if you know this or not, but it's like almost 10:30, and if I'm awake out of bed and there's lights on in my house after 10:30, I'm kind of like them little gremlins, that got fed after midnight. It's not good.
Yeah.
I can't believe you hadn't had a pickle.
Okay. I do. I'm just about out. I gotta get her to get me some more of them.
Are y'all want to sing happy birthday to Johnny?
Already did. Already did. Done did it. Why, did you like my birthday song?
I didn't hear it, y'all. I was with my mama, and I'm just coming through the car wash.
You'll have to go over to Johnny's live that he had earlier and see if you can hear my birthday song. You might not have ever heard it the way I sing it.
How did it do?
Johnny liked it, didn't you?
Well, I won't forget it.
I'm gonna have to go listen to that.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna have
my.
to listen to it. Did you sing it in the beginning?
No.
You got mouth full of pickles now.
Yeah, Paul likes his pickle.
So, Mr. Johnny,
Yeah.
the at 10 Killer, everybody the go out and eat and stuff. That's Friday night. People go eat at a restaurant or something.
Yeah.
Going to Jose's.
No, not
No?
Friday night.
Bummer.
Thursday night, I think we're gonna go to Jose's.
Mm-hmm.
Friday night, and the reason being is because I don't think Jose's can handle the crowd that we would have on Friday night. That big of a bunch. But I can tell you on Friday night, if everybody's game, I'm thinking there's a place just right around the corner from where we're going to be down there at the lake. It's called the Princess Drive-In, which they have totally remodeled and made it it's got a lot of inside seating, and I mean a lot. It's like it's not a, when I say Princess Drive-In, it's not like a little Tasty Freeze or something like that. It's a full-blown big restaurant is what it is. And it's got a lot of seating inside, and I was thinking that would be, and you can get pretty much anything there. Whatever anybody's taste would be. It'd be similar to what we were able to get at that Pinecone Fest at the restaurant when we went there.
What town would that be? Would that be Keys or?
It's not even Key. It's like, if you leave if you go right out the gate right there at the Cherokee Landing, instead of turning left and going back toward Keys, you turn right and go right across that bridge. And it's just right up the hill on the left past that. So it would be, it's actually right across the road from where, if anybody knows where JB, and Carrie's Whitetail Run park thing is right there. It's across the road from that deal.
Yeah.
So Ed's in here. Yes, that's it right there.
Let's see. What? Oh, we got it.
Princess Drive-In.
Yeah, that's it. That's the old sign. But they have totally remodeled that place. New folks own it.
That's a fish sandwich.
Huh? Yeah, that was a fish sandwich, wasn't it?
Hopefully they've got pickles for you, Paul.
It's the inside of it is bigger than that now.
I'm sure that's.
I don't. It's really large inside. They opened up a ton of area inside of it, and I was thinking that'd probably be a pretty good place, and people wouldn't have to drive that far to go to it.
Now read what that caption says right there with that.
A beef burger.
Beef burger.
Where's the beef?
Yeah, where's the beef, y'all?
Huh.
Oh gosh.
Do they have decent catfish? I have not had their catfish, but I've had steak there, and I've had their burgers.
How are their
I've
steaks?
had chicken fry there, and all of that was good.
Are their steaks pretty good?
This may be my time to have catfish this time. Huh?
Are their steaks pretty good?
Yes. Yes, because a good steak is really, it's kind of like a steak desert over here in Tahlequah. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just not. I mean, the best steak in town, in the actual town, is probably a Mexican food place.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
there's just really, we had a Western sizzling at one time that I thought was just a bomb, but it went away.
Yeah.
And now it's like, if you want a steak, you kind of caught, but you can go out there to the Princess Drive-In and have a good steak. So
it's like hamburgers in Winsboro, our town. My wife says the best hamburger in town is at the Mexican place.
Oh,
yeah,
oh.
isn't that something? The Mexican place has the best burger in town. We've got a couple of pretty good burger joints in Tahlequah. I think there's one called KC Harris Burger. If you just don't, it's one of them places where you go in, just don't really pay attention to your surroundings. Just kind of go in, order your food, and go sit down and just wait on them to bring it out. And don't really just sit there and just stare at every little corner and all, and ceiling tile and all that stuff. Just kind of maybe play with your phone. Just sit there and look at Facebook until they bring your food.
Where's that noise coming from?
It's her car.
It's her car. There you go.
Yeah, I muted it there. Yeah.
But the
Now it's on you.
She's trying to work on both. I got it. I got you muted right now.
Well, I am getting off from here. It was good to chat with you guys.
Yeah, sure.
We are sure looking forward to seeing you at 10 Killer, and hope it works out even to where Trey can come.
Yeah.
I'm trying. That's what I told him last night on Chris's. So that's my weekend to be working, and I'm working nights. But I talked to one of the guys that works on the other crew, and they don't like us taking off on weekends, and they really don't like us taking off at nights on weekends. But I talked to him and I said, look, if the boss will agree to it, will you work for me Friday and Saturday night, and I can be back Sunday night and start? And I told him, I said, you just come in, if nothing else, you work for me for free, and I'll come in and work for you and cover for you on a weekend or something. And he's good with that. So
okay,
if the boss will agree to it,
if the boss will agree
to it, then what we're going to try to do is basically, I get off work at 6 o'clock, like that Friday morning, and me and Jessica, she's going to be ready, and we're going to head out. And it's about a little 6 hours and 45 minutes there. So we drive it. We'll be there, a little after lunch.
Well,
nice.
I don't know anything, but I do know they can't compel you to come to work when you're sick.
He gone.
He gone.
He gone.
So Trey, what's your boss's phone number? I'll call him.
Yeah, I'll call him. We'll put in a good word for you.
Yeah. So if we can make it work out, we will be there Friday after lunch sometime, and then we will be, Saturday, probably stay Saturday night as well, and get up Sunday morning and probably haul it back.
Yeah. So Saturday night's pretty fun at these deals.
Yeah.
So and we're gonna have a meal Saturday evening. That's our meal evening. Then we're gonna have breakfast on Saturday and Sunday morning is when we're having breakfast.
Yeah.
So but a lot of people just like to just kind of get together and run down to the restaurant. It gives us a really good opportunity to get that big old long table photo of all the different folks and stuff like that. And everybody can order the food that they want and stuff like that. So beans, more beans, huh? But I'm sure hoping you can make it work out.
We're gonna try. Like I said, it may be a Friday evening and a Saturday only thing, but we're gonna try to make it work. So and that's mine and Jessica's anniversary weekend. Our anniversary is actually the 28th.
Yeah.
So,
Nice. Well, our anniversary is actually well, ours is going to be right around whenever they have the Mid America one.
Mid-America, yeah.
Yeah, that's when our anniversary is.
Yep.
But anyway, on folks in the chat, I don't know. And you guys on Thursday night, Dale's not going to go live at 7:00. He asked us if we'd cover for him on, at his time and stuff like that. We're going live at 5:00. We're going to do a regular live. Then we're going to go live at 7:00. But what I'm wanting to do is I'm kind of wanting to do I know there's people that's got questions and stuff out there about YouTube, about the monetized side of YouTube, I guess you'd say. The side where, like, what does it take to do this and what does it take to do that and what does it, if you have, I know people's got questions like if you get X amount of views and you can hold people for more than 8 minutes in your video, etc. What can you earn?
You got a really good video if you
Huh?
I said, you got a really good video if you can hold 1,000 views for 8 minutes or so sometimes.
Yeah.
Depending on what size video it is.
Right. And and that's the thing, there's a lot of ins and outs and stuff like that. But I've got a lot of examples of a lot of different things like that. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do kind of a tutorial on Thursday night. Like I've got one video. It's got 200. It's not a short, guys. It's a video. It's 40 minutes long. It's got 220 something thousand views, and it's got it's right now. It has just got to the point where it's not held everybody more than 8 minutes on average.
Wow, that's good.
So it could tell you what you would, you can actually earn, and things like that. So I just wanted to go through a lot of stuff like that, give people an idea, because there's people who think, that they can make a living with YouTube. Drops, if you're not interested, that's fine. But there are some people that are.
Yeah.
So if you wondered what it takes, because my goal is actually to not take Social Security at 62, which is my early retirement, is to not take Social Security at 62 and just continue on with with that.
Yeah.
So and then take Social Security when I can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? When I can't make videos that are actually so. And that's the goal right now, is to get to that point.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore, says Drops. Yep. That's fine, Drops. You can just not care. That's fine. Nobody's asking you to care.
The auction videos seem to do really good. Dale and them, some of their auction videos has done well.
Yeah, I mean, it's various. I've got all kinds of different videos that have done good.
Yeah.
There's different ones of Pecan, I made quite a bit more than that on that one.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's cool, Drops. That's all on you. So anyway, I just thought some folks might be interested in some of that stuff. And like I said, Drops, if you're not interested, that's fine. You don't have to listen or do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I thought I would go through it. I'm gonna make it to where people can come up on panel. I'm gonna give some examples of. I think I'm gonna try to share some screenshot examples of stuff like that. There are things that you need to get, because I'm telling you, if you don't have something like TubeBuddy right now, if you don't have something like that to help you to see what your analytics are, what you actually are doing, where people are dropping in, where they're dropping out of your video, you know, how long you can hold them, what your thumbnail's doing, things like that.
I played there for a little while, you know, with the thumbnail thing, you know, and in the YouTube studio, you can go in all your analytics and but I mean, I seen some good responses from it, and then some of them just kind of was about the same. So I quit doing the multiple thumbnails. Do you do multiple thumbnails? You just make
No,
one thumbnail and
I
roll
make
it?
one thumbnail, and I make my thumbnails
All I do
myself.
now.
I don't use any AI or anything to
No,
make
I don't either. Yeah.
thumbnails. I know some people do, but I make one thumbnail, and you know, because some people will change their thumbnail, you know, at various points in their video. You know, like if their video hasn't had so many views in a certain amount of time, they'll put on another thumbnail on it.
Yeah.
And I've seen some people actually get a boost from that, somewhat, but mine have all. I usually just stick with the same thumbnail. I think
Well,
one
once I
time I
say
had
it's
changed
done.
a thumbnail,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's right. So you know, and YouTube, you know, it's fun and all that stuff, but also if it can actually pay for itself, because you know, if you're spending the time, like it'll take me 8 hours to edit a video.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm sitting here for 8 hours, you know, editing a video, then I might like to be able to recoup, especially the money, like say whenever I do go to auctions.
Yeah.
I spend money whenever I go.
Yep.
It's nice to be able to have the money to go. So,
Well, I'll be watching Thursday for sure.
Good night.
Because
So,
I'm hoping that some folks will understand where I'm coming from with this, because I want everybody to be able to do what they want to do with YouTube. If your goal is just, you know, like, you know, just to put out videos so your grandkids will be able to see grandma and grandpa whenever, you know, when you're gone, they'll be able to see you and hear your voice and stuff like that. That's all fine. If you actually have ever, you know, thought about, you know, the other side of it, which is, you know, can you actually make a living at YouTube?
oh yeah.
I'm not going to say what I do is make a living, but I do make enough to do some things that I wouldn't be able to do. Let's just put it that way.
And you know, I'm gonna tell my thing, and I know you got a lot of your subscribers, and you done really good with some shorts that help.
Right.
And I've gained a lot of subscribers. I've had some videos that just like take off, and I may get, I don't know, say 40 subscribers from a short. I'm talking about shorts,
Mm-hmm.
but those don't always go back and watch the videos. You know, they may watch some shorts, but it don't go the subscriber.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about the difference between a short audience and a video audience. Because there's a big difference between a short audience and a video audience. Also, the fact that, you know, you can make, what you want to do is you want to make videos for you want to make videos for the people you want to come to your channel, not for the, I don't want to make anybody mad or anything like that, but you don't necessarily want to make videos for like a small community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Say you make the video for the people that comes to your lives or
Yeah.
something like that. That's a small community.
Yeah.
If you make a video just aimed at that small, group, then you're missing because you're trying to get a group that you don't have. That's what you really want watching your videos. Because I can tell you, of your subscribers aren't who are your main video watchers. You've got a few subscribers that will watch every video you put out, and then you've got a whole bunch of people that aren't subscribed to you that will watch everything you put out.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm just saying it's a and I don't mean to step on any toes or anything like that, because the other thing is, I've noticed if you put your picture front and center, this is all stuff I'm going to talk about. If you put your picture front and center on your video, like every video is you going, that. If somebody has a bad experience on one of your videos, if somebody watches one of your videos and
that same thumbnail, it looks,
rubs them the wrong way for whatever, maybe you said 2 words in it that offended them in some way, shape, or form, they will never watch one of your videos again. And so since they will never watch one of your videos again, every time they see your picture on a thumbnail, they will never click that they'll never click it ever. If you make your if you make your thumbnail about what the video is actually about, which is, say you're working on this certain type of vehicle, or maybe you're at this certain type of auction, or maybe you're at this certain type of, then if you make that the focal point of your thumbnail, people will miss that it's Our Louisiana Live, or Gillum Farms, or Chris, Texas Raider. They will miss that, and they will click on it. Once they click on it and the video starts going, a lot of them will watch it because they've already taken that step. So once they've taken that step and they start watching your video, then you've got it. Every second that they watch is, the algorithm is watching. It's going, okay, bam, 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 bam. Well, the next thing you know, they watch another video of yours. They watch another video of yours, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm telling you, if you ever upset anybody, offend them in any way, shape, or form, you don't even have to do anything personal. If you have your picture on that thumbnail, they will never ever click on that thumbnail again, ever. So just saying.
Somebody said 8 hours editing a video, that's long. Let me tell you, when you have multiple cameras and you're piecing stuff together and you're going back and forth and you're pulling a little segment from this and then a little segment, man, it takes a while. Editing is, when you get into multiple cameras and stuff like that, it really takes some time.
Drops, they won't learn anything if they don't watch your video. If they don't watch it, they'll learn nothing. So that's where I'm going with that. So
I think it'll be good.
Well, I think that's going to be the one. I'm going to do that. That's going to be my first one. I'm going to start off, pretty slow on it and stuff like that, and then I'm going to work a few more of them in there and stuff like that, because I've learned some things over the years, and I'll share what I have learned, because I know what it takes to get views on the Gillum Farms channel. I know what it takes to get, people are going to have to they're really going to have to get past this sub thing. the subs doesn't.
Well, that's why I was saying a while ago. I mean, I've got 40 something hundred, but you know, I mean, I'm glad I've got every one of them, but I would rather have 1,500 that watched everything than to have 4,000 whatever.
Exactly.
You
You got it, Trey. You've got it right
Yeah.
there. Okay. You've actually learned the deal, because if you can have 100,000 subs, and if they will not watch your stuff, you might as well have, just go back to 1,000. I'm telling you, because the sub count, people are going to have to get past the fact, used to be it was if you had a lot of subs, you were a big channel. Well, that's not the way it is anymore. If you have a lot of subs, it doesn't mean you're a big channel. If you want to see how big a channel is, you look at the views. You look and see how many views the channel has. So if you've got somebody that's got, I'm going to say if they got 60 or 70,000 subs, and you look at their average views on their videos, and they're getting 120 views on their video, on their average video, you make your own judgment call on that deal. It's just big channels are getting a lot of views, actual views, and they're holding people more than just a few seconds in their video.
I mean, I got a guy that I know, and me and him talk, and he got 145,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets, on average, if you go look at his videos, he's getting 50,000 views,
Mm-hmm.
and that's legit. So, and I mean, I know how much he makes a year. It's pretty nice. So,
yeah. I mean, it's all about the views and how long you can hold them in your video. That's where it's at. If you have say you have 120,000 subscribers, and you get, I'm just throwing a number out there. Say you have 120,000 subscribers, but your videos are only getting about 5,700 views on average a piece. Which is, a lot of people would think that 5,700 views is a good number and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really making a lot of money. They're just because they have 120,000 subscribers doesn't mean they're making more money than the person who has 4,000 subscribers and is getting 5,700 views on their video. You see what I'm saying here? In other words, it's not because of the subscribers. It's all based on views and how long you can hold them and stuff like that.
I know some channels out there that's got, like 25, 30,000 subscribers. And if you go watch their, or go look at their videos, they've got 20 and 30 something views. There's fishy things there.
Well, you know what that's about, just like I do.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, there's ways of
manipulation.
You can, YouTube is a super smart program. I'm telling you, YouTube has figured out a way to get advertisers to pay to put their advertisement on videos. Mm-hmm. They have also figured out a way to get content creators to pay to put their videos on the actual platform. If that isn't brilliant, and the content creator makes nothing, and the advertiser, gets whatever they get from advertising. Yeah. But YouTube gets it all.
And my thing on that is, the more people that's trying to do that, it's going to be the more people that's doing it right. They're not going to push your stuff out.
No, I'm just saying, you have to look and see what's you can tell by looking at a channel what's going on and stuff like that. it's a weird deal because, you know, just what, a year ago, it was a lot different. YouTube was a lot different the way it worked than it is right now. But
I can tell you, YouTube is a lot of work right now for what little bit that I make.
yeah, but I'm going to tell you, all you have to do is just be consistent.
Oh yeah,
You need to put out stuff every week. You need to put it out.
I try.
You know, if you can put it out, make sure
3
that
days.
you stay with it. Just
Yep.
keep with
Oh
it,
yeah.
and it will eventually, the algorithm will actually finally figure out where your niche is, and whenever it finally figures out where your niche is, that's whenever things start working out for you and
Yep.
stuff like that. But it's very frustrating to get to
Oh
that
look,
point.
I'm happy where mine's at, and I know. I mean, it's growing. I mean, it's every month. You know, there's gets a little better, a little bit. You know, it's going.
Yeah,
So
Leonard, Amy is saying, "Look at us, we're growing slowly." I'm okay with that.
yep.
Amy, I got one question for you. Whenever you say you're growing, do you mean subscriber wise or do you mean with view wise? Because growing is going to be views. Subscriber counts, as we were talking about earlier, subscriber count. What did I do to my finger? I just wrapped this random paper towel around it. But the way you grow is more the more people that will watch and you can hold in your video. And I'm telling you that what is it? Shoot, I just said it earlier. This program that we use, TubeBuddy, it will show you how your video, like if you say there's a channel that you really admire, maybe you like their content, maybe you like what they got going on. If you can look on when you have TubeBuddy and you're actually on your computer, you can look and you can see how your channel compares to theirs as far as, you know, throughout the month and stuff like that. And it will really be an eye opener for you, you know. So
I had never used anything else. I just used the YouTube, you know, studio, and you can break down a lot in the YouTube studio.
yeah.
But I had never used any outside
Well,
anything.
try TubeBuddy.
TubeBuddy.
Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything. Try it out. Try the free version of TubeBuddy,
Okay.
and it will amaze you. I mean, we're going to talk about SEO scores and stuff like that too. How to get a good SEO score. I know people have heard about SEO scores and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How you go about ended up with a good SEO score with your videos and things like that. So, and I can tell people how to get a good SEO score. So that's the kind of things I want to, because man, I tell you what, I had all kind of questions when I was starting this deal, and
man,
there was
me too.
nobody that would really tell me anything. I don't know how many people told me it took 1 million views on a short to get $100. Wrong.
Yep. Yep. Hey, I talked to a guy. I'm not gonna call no names, but when I first was starting this, you know, just you're trying to get some ideas. You don't even know where to go, how to start, or do anything. And he gave a couple pointers. He said, you know, it all don't come for free. He said, I do a program that is $4,500 for a month. You pay them $4,500, and they pretty much take your channel over and fix anything and get you headed in the right direction for 4,500. Now, so I'm good. I'm not looking to pay nobody to grow it.
Right.
I just kind of get some ideas. Where do I mean, I don't even know where to put this or what kind of hashtags, you know, none of that stuff. That was just stuff I pretty much had to learn a lot of that on my own.
Right. And
So
that's the thing. I just want to show what I have learned,
yeah,
you know, myself, as far as this goes. And then other people, I want other people to jump in and say what they've learned, because we've all got something to share.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going with this thing. I was thinking, well, if I could get, a couple of people on panel and everybody can say, okay, well, this is what happened with my deal, and this is how it's working out for me now. And then you could go from, the next one can share their experience, and then things like that. And I'm not trying to bore anybody that's in the chat or anything like that, but I can tell you, whenever I started this journey, I go, if I ever make $1 off of YouTube, $1, I'll think, wow, I have found, I have made it and stuff like that.
Well, that's like me. I set goals.
Yeah.
To do this, and it's actually I don't know the exact date, but March a year ago is when I decided. I said, I'm going to try this. And before, I'd had a YouTube channel for about 3 years, and I think I had like 30 something subscribers a year ago today.
I was the same way.
And I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to try this. I don't care if people think I'm a fool. If they, people around here laugh at me, joke, whatever. I said, I'm fixing to try it. Who knows what might could happen?
Yeah.
And like I said, I've went from them 30 something subscribers in a year. I'm at, a little over 4,000 subscribers.
Right.
So,
Well, Johnny, let me ask you a question. You mentioned about the views.
Yep.
So when under YouTube Studio, do you look at because it always pops up 28 days, what the stat is there, but you can also go to 365 days. So which one do you look at? You just look at the most recent of 28 days?
What I'm looking at is the views on my individual videos.
the video itself.
So I'm looking at a video, and I've got a goal for every video I put out. I've got a number that I'm wanting that video to hit, and some of them hit it and they far exceed it. Some of them fall short of what I thought it was going to hit, and then I try to figure out what is the reasoning for that one to not do what I thought it would, and this other one, whether it be the thumbnail, whether it be, and I can tell you one thing.
Thumbnail is a lot.
Whenever you make a video,
yeah,
watch that thing about 8 or 9 times before you put it out.
Yep.
And every time you put it out, if you ever come to a snooze spot in it where you yourself are start thinking about something else, cut that part.
Yep. You always want to be saying something, doing something. And that's what I'm trying to get better and better at, but don't have those big lull moments in there.
Yeah, don't ever give somebody a point to where they feel like they can take that phone call, or they can you want every part of your video to be something where they go, I wonder what's going to happen next. That way, if something happens and they end up having to pause you or whatever, they want to come back and finish that. Because if you give them an out, you give anybody an out, they're out.
Yep.
So you're trying to grab them the whole time.
We went Friday night, and we went and met Miss Kathy, Resourceful Living in Mississippi. And earlier that morning, I had the video put out that was titled "Too Early for This" or something. It was basically when it was a snake that was up in a burn pile. I started piling it up, and that snake was just in there hibernating or whatever, and he come out. Well, that video, it come out the gate, and it just run up there, and it just kind of was just gradually going for about 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
In 2 days, it had like 300 views or something, I think, in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then that morning, something just clicked, and that thing just turned up. And I showed Miss Kathy. We was all sitting there talking. I said, "Look at this. This video is so weird." And that evening or that night when we was eating, it was up to like 1,000 views or little over 1,000 views. By the time I got home, it was at like 1.2 or 1.3, and it got up there and went to like 1.8,
Mm-hmm.
and then it stalled again.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I do not understand. I guess the thumbnail maybe caught. I have no idea.
What happened was the algorithm actually saw something whenever whenever it took off. It saw something that it thought that an audience might be interested in, and it actually gave it a push. If you look, if you like with TubeBuddy or YouTube Studio, I can look and I can see where the actual views came from, where they came from subscribers, where they came from, outside sources, or a YouTube push, or something like that. So once they
search 98% or 97% come
was
from
it a search?
Browse or search. I have to go back and go look now, Johnny.
Because searches usually don't get you that much, but if yours did, that is awesome.
Well, hey, I may be telling you wrong. I'm gonna go back.
Usually, it's YouTube recommendations.
Hang on, let's see here. Let me go right down.
He never did say what kind of snake it was.
Oh, it was a cottonmouth.
Is that all?
Look, here's the deal. I know I can't see y'all right now because I'm looking at this, but I had it and I was really worried about what YouTube would do with it. I took my pocket knife out and I killed it with my pocket knife. And I picked it up and showed it and done all that. And when I went to editing, I said, you know what? I said, that right there is probably gonna get kicked off. You know, so I said, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't put it on there. I just left that out.
You murderer.
Browse features. It was now after it's all played out at the end.
Browse features.
Yeah, 71.4% was browse features.
Yeah. So what I do, I've got one. I mean, I don't know if you've even seen it or anything like that, but I've got one where I had a 7-foot rattlesnake and I blew its head off with a 44 Magnum, and right there on the deal, and just I asked my wife. I said, "What do you think?" I said, "What do you think we should? I should put that in." I thought, I'm going to stick it in there. It's life. I'm sticking it in there. If they don't like it, they can throw it out. If they, they never did. It's good.
Yep. Oh, and I should have. Like I said, I had it all. I videoed it. I got the camera down there right level with it, and I pretty much cut his head off. I set the bucket down and grabbed him. He was trying to run. I set the bucket of the tractor down and got on top of him. It was
Not James.
About 6 minutes of him, 6 inches of it. Night, James. About 6 inches of him stuck out the bucket.
Yeah.
But like I said, I didn't put it on there. And
yeah, I got one thing to tell you though.
What's that?
I watched one of your videos whenever you were loading cows or moving cows, and you had one of them zip things. Well, that's a good way to kill a video. I
don't have one. I don't have one of them. I got a paddle. I have a paddle, but I don't have a hot shot.
Oh, you don't?
No,
maybe it was a paddle that I saw then.
It may have been a paddle. I don't have a hot shot. We don't need that with our cows.
Yeah, I was like, oh, buddy.
With Bunny, I about need a hot shot because she's so gentle. She's so gentle. She won't do nothing.
Don't you there? Don't you? You all right? You bring her. I'm telling you again, per the contract. If you're getting that much problem, then when you come to 10 Killer, you just have a trailer on the back of that.
Look, I'm telling you, yesterday I couldn't even fix the water leak. They busted the water line. I told Chris and them last night. I was making a video yesterday. So I took all my stuff, put it down on the ground, and she's just steadily up under my arm messing with me. Well, she reaches down there. I guess she thought it was a range cube and picked up the dadgum coupler, a 3/4 PVC coupler, and went to chewing on it, wallering on it.
Yeah.
I had to, she's a dang nuisance.
Yeah.
I like Bunny. But she's a nuisance.
Yeah.
One other thing I want to tell folks real quick that are in here, and I'm going to rehash all this stuff on Thursday night, or a lot of this stuff, is don't get wound up on your subs and stuff like that, because if the views come, the subs will come. So if you just worry about the views and not the subs, then you'll be way ahead. Because the views will bring subs. I was looking back there at what Dakota said. They got a bunch of subs from the 36,000 view video that they had and stuff like that. And that's the way it works. You end up with subs from the views. Don't worry about the subs before the views, is what I'm getting at.
Yep.
Don't worry about trying to get more subscribers, because the subscribers they're not what is driving this thing. The subscribers aren't.
You can have 100,000 subscribers, but if you ain't got but 50 of them at watch, I mean, you ain't doing you no good.
That's exactly right. So 37-minute video average watch time is over 11 minutes. I figure it should have kept on ticking. Well, it just depends. It depends upon, I mean, I've got several videos that are, that I thought should have kept on ticking and stuff like that, and they haven't, Dakota. I think that there's a shelf life for just about every video, and that was probably the shelf life of that one.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Now, do you have the paid version of StreamYard, Johnny, or I can't remember if you.
Yeah, the StreamYard we have is the paid version, and we can have up to 10 people on the panel at one time.
Because each month I get real close to my free 20 hours.
Yes.
I never had an issue with StreamYard, and maybe that was something after I got restreamed that they done, because I was using StreamYard, and man, I was on a bunch. At first, I never got no warnings unless is it just off of your channel, like you going live?
Well, I think whenever you actually, not only you going live, but whenever you co-stream with somebody else, it comes off your hours.
It does.
And so I know Chris co-streams a lot. He's on a lot. I've seen him a lot on Lori's at night and stuff like that. On different lives and things. And you can burn it up pretty quick. We found that we never did not have the paid version, because whenever we first started this deal, they told us when we did it.
Yeah.
You know how much time you got with StreamYard for free? You got 4 hours.
Wow.
Free. And we were sitting there thinking, we got a 1 hour live every week on Thursday. So if we do just our 1 hour lives, we got just enough to do our 4 hours.
Yep.
And we have no other time that we can actually really go live or anything like that. So we just made the decision right then. We'll just have it, because we want it to be to where if we want to invite 10 people and, nine other channels into our thing, we can.
Yeah.
So we just did it that way.
But does the paid version, Johnny, is it unlimited hours per month?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I can go as live as often as I want to go, and have up to 10 folks on there.
Yeah, Laurie, Restream is not affecting anything with Chris. He's going off of me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not affecting anything.
Yeah, Restream shouldn't. Yeah, this is a totally different deal.
And remember what tomorrow is, Trey.
What? Oh, I know. Hey, I already got you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Already got you took care of. You don't even know it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, Bunny they eat a box and a one today. We had one oatmeal cream pie left, and they eat a whole box today of oatmeal cream pies.
So, well, that's all right. Come Wednesday, I'll be shipping some more down there per the contract.
Yep. So if I got you, you'll be getting you something. Probably be tomorrow. So, but
Well, Johnny, I appreciate you taking that time tonight, and I look forward to Thursday. And so I'm just saying ahead, be ready for questions because
what time are you gonna do it, Johnny?
7 o'clock.
I'll be asking you questions, sir.
I'll make it, but because I won't get home till close to 7 because I go back to work.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, you can come up on panel. I'm gonna open up the panel and stuff like that. You guys come up on panel. We can, round table it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I know there's people. I hate to keep going back and forth like this. I know there are people who are not interested in any kind of monetization or anything like that with YouTube, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. But you know what? Everybody's goals aren't the same. Everybody's thing is not the same. So for the people who are interested in actually being able to take the money that they were able to earn from AdSense and go to an auction and buy all kinds of stuff at the auction and stuff like that, and be able to, like if they want new tires for their GTO to drag race on, they just take their YouTube money and buy tires like I did, and buy a drum of fuel that costs $1,200 like I did. Then then it'll be something for you. But if you're not interested in any of that kind of stuff, then
I told somebody a while back. I said I don't know if I'd ever want to quit my job to do it full time. I mean, it'd be fun, but I kind of like the benefits. I kind of like that job security. I know a lot of people that's been able to quit their job, but at the same time, I mean, heck, there's a lot of work that goes into some of these videos.
yeah,
people may watch 20 minutes or 25 minutes, and you don't know it wouldn't be near as much work to get that 25 minutes if you wasn't worried about trying to condense it down where you can get people to continue to watch it. Well, and it's a lot of work to convince.
You hit on
8-hour day and put into 25 minutes.
You hit on something earlier. That a lot of people don't understand. If you're running 4 GoPros, and you're running a drone, and you've got time lapse sequences, and you've got music that and you've got all kinds of different things like that going on, and you might video a 40-minute segment on your GoPro and go through 2 batteries while you're doing it. And then you use 14 seconds from that 40 minutes in your actual video. And you have to watch every single bit of it yourself.
Yes. And 4,362 times.
Yeah. And watch it over and over and over. That's where the time comes in with editing. And people, no matter if you're retired and you're just sitting around the house and stuff like that, everybody's time is worth something.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, but I like auctions. Let me know what you pick up. I let everybody know what I pick up drops. It's on every one of my auction videos. But anyway, and I even use some of it, and some, like stuff I pick up at the auctions, I use it. I know some channels, they don't let you know what they actually bought at the auction and stuff like that. But me, you see me bidding on it right there.
Well,
I'm in it. I'm ready for it. But but anyway, that's the thing. If you're running a bunch of multiple cameras, like Christine, we were talking about that the other day. You got the creator version GoPro the other day, or you said you.
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
That's what I've been using.
Guess what showed up for my birthday today?
Uh-oh, you get one?
GoPro 13 Creator Edition.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's got all the little this and that, and what I really like is that handle that comes with it. That's actually a battery pack.
You can just about do video all day if you use that.
Oh, really?
I'm telling you, it is wonderful.
Yeah. Shorts help a lot on getting subscribers, getting you started and stuff like that. I'd say people who have less than 1,000 subscribers, if they want to get to their 1,000 threshold, shorts will help get you right there and stuff like that. The most I've ever made on a single short is right under $600 on a short. But they, shorts typically are not, they're good. If you put out enough shorts and stuff like that, you can make money with shorts, and it will help you to bump over the, that number that you want, everybody's trying to get. I've heard these numbers all the time, what people's trying to make a month and stuff like that.
And that's where shorts really helped me was that.
But once you've got your subs and all that stuff, and it's good to have, because your short folks, I can tell you, you can have a ton of short subs and they won't watch anything unless it's 15 seconds or less. So they're not going to watch your video. They're just not going to do it. They're the TikTok crew. I'm telling you, they're not going to watch them. So that's when you really want to make sure you build your viewer watchers, your people who will actually view, will sit for a lot, turn it on the TV kind of people that will just sit back and, get their favorite beverage and just sit there and watch your whole video. That's what you're looking for.
Yep. People that's going to get interested and they can't wait for your next one to come out.
Right. That's what you want. That's what you want. You want people that are excited that the certain day is coming up, that you put a video out that day every week.
Yep. That's why I always do every Saturday. I try to do every Wednesday. Those are my 2 days that I'm going to put something out. It's Saturdays and Wednesdays. I try to put 3 a week out, but I always put something out Saturdays and Wednesdays.
Yeah.
I put them out in the morning too. That way they've got all day to catch them at some point.
Yeah. That's something else I'm going to talk about. Whenever you put out a video when you think that a person actually has time to watch it.
Yeah.
So, and now what I'm getting at here, now follow me. Put it out when you think the closest to when you think they'll actually have time to watch it. Because the longer it sits with them not watching it, the quicker it goes away on their feed on YouTube, and then they don't watch it.
Yep. I try to go in the analytics and look at the peak times that people watch my videos in the analytics. I try to watch that, and I try to base a lot off that.
Yeah. I never put out a video in the morning.
Really?
Never. And the reason being is because there's a bunch of people who work that I want to see my video. Yeah. I don't want to just put it out for a certain few people. I want to put it out for everybody.
Yeah.
My videos come out on average 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's right when people are just coming off work, getting ready to get off work. They see a notification. They put it in their head.
Go watch it.
They watch it that night. So that's whenever I try to put. I never put anything out. And I tested this. I tested it with shorts. I would put out shorts in the morning
Yeah.
And then I would take and watch how that short worked. And if it didn't get it didn't get a certain amount of number by a certain time, I would kill the short. And then I would go put the same short out the next day in the evening, about 4 to 5 o'clock, and then see what the numbers were on the short, on the exact same short. And every single time the short would just blow the morning short away every single time.
Yeah. Huh.
So
I don't know. There's some. I have some goes out in the evenings. It just depends. But most of my Saturday videos, they come out 7 o'clock in the morning normally. But
how are they doing what you want them to do?
I mean, they do okay, but they're still hit and miss. You
Okay.
have some videos.
I got you something right here.
Okay.
Move it to 4 o'clock.
Move it to 4.
Move one to 4.
All right. We'll try that.
Move it to 4 o'clock. See what happens. Because on Saturday morning, I can tell you the last thing I'm going to do is watch a video on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
All day long, I've got something to do on Saturday.
Yeah.
When I watch a video is in the evening.
For me, when I watch my videos is when I get in the bed at night. Finally, if I'm able to.
Yeah, I start. It's usually getting toward darkish or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you think it's important to kill it if it doesn't perform? Yes. If you have a short that's not performing the way you want it, and I can tell you right now, if I have a short that doesn't get 1,000 views at least in on the first day, it goes away. And 1,000 views is nothing on a short. Don't get me wrong. There's a bunch of shorts I've got a few shorts that have millions of views, but 1,000 views is where I start with to see if it's even worth keeping. Because I can tell you, if people look at your channel, if they look at your short list and all your shorts have 150 to 25 views, 52 views, 170 views.
Yeah.
They're not going to be interested. But if they look at your channel and every one of them is going across there at 4,500 and plus views all the way across, they start paying attention to your shorts.
Yep.
So if it's not performing, figure out why it doesn't perform. And I can tell you, most shorts don't perform because they're too long. If you got a short that's over 15 seconds long, it better be one heck of a short, because you will lose people. I mean, that's my goal, is a 15-second short.
15-second short.
15 seconds max.
I keep mine. Even though they have this other, I still keep mine under the minute. I think I've had one short this went up pretty high, and that was explaining a giveaway. I think it was on the calf. I believe is what it was, or something like that.
Yeah. 15-second short.
15-second short. So.
15 seconds, and whenever and what's really cool about shorts is you can actually edit a short. Like if you got an iPhone, you can take and you can video however much you want. Edit it in the iMovie or something like that. Get it down to 15-second video. Put it out as a short and see how it performs. Be really particular about your friggin' your thumbnail on that, which is going to be one spot in that video. Make sure you're right on the right spot. Make sure you got the right title, and put it out. I like to put them out in the evening, and if you want to go and look, you'll see that almost all the shorts in the Gillum Farms. I mean, I'm not telling you have to do any of this. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that's a good example. The short numbers are going to be, you'll see a bunch of big numbers all the way across.
Yeah.
And I think that helps your channel. I really do. So if that at least gets you to where the algorithm starts thinking about you a little bit.
Yep. Yep. Hey, Barton's RV, welcome.
Man, it's 11:30.
I know, and I still haven't eat. I haven't eaten supper yet. I hadn't got shower. I haven't done it. I literally come in. I was in the house about 20 minutes, just long enough to get my laptop out and get it set up. I haven't done anything. I got so
Did your derriere dry out yet?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure I haven't stood up to see. I mean, it all feels the same right now, but I mean, I figure my butt's done probably dried.
So Trey, you think you'll come over whenever you get in on Thursday?
Yeah, I will. I will. Like I said,
man, we'll have this discussion again.
Yeah, like I said, when I come home, I'll get home. Normally, I'm home between 6:45 and 7 o'clock, and I get the cows fed. So it probably be 7:30 ish
Are you
before
going to put out a short tomorrow?
Probably I've got several on here that I've done.
Put it out tomorrow evening, around
Right.
5.
I've got to get a chance. I've got to edit a video because I've got to. I got to get a video out for Wednesday and I haven't got anything edited yet.
Yeah.
Haven't even started editing.
I've actually got a video ready to go because it's actually the one I was going to put out last week, and I got a copyright strike on it. And it was while it was still in, because I don't make a video and put it out.
Yeah, I don't need
my video is scheduled.
It's scheduled.
So it was while it was scheduled, I got a copyright strike.
Yeah.
And I actually contested the copyright. I never got a response, and I went in and I went a different way with it, and I'm going to put the same video out again tomorrow.
Yeah, I got on one of mine with the preg chicken deal. I've put out multiple videos with preg chicken, and all of a sudden I got one that got me a strike, and I contested it, and then they took it away. They said, "Okay, we're good. You say it's good, it's good."
Yeah, they never did. They never did. I let mine sit there for. My video was supposed to come out it was going to come out last Wednesday.
Yeah.
And on Saturday, I said, I'm not waiting anymore. I killed it. I went a different way with it. It's all done. I'm going to put it out. I'm going to put it out tomorrow. So we'll see how that works out. And then I've got another one that I'll put out Friday. That's usually what my goal is try to put out 2 a week.
Yeah, that's what my goal is, 2 a week, and like I said, sometimes it's 3. Like when we get into sure enough hay season coming up here in a month or so, it'll be easy then. But the problem I have then is just finding time to edit them. I mean, man, like last year during hay season, I was literally you'd work all day up into 9:30, 10 o'clock before I'd get home and then sit up half the night editing on a video. Wouldn't get it exactly edited, edit on it.
Yeah.
So, and now I'm fixing to add a drone to the situation for this year. So
yeah, I always drone the hay cutting and the baling and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna add a drone to the mix this year. So that's gonna just add a little extra on the editing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, drone helps on something like that for sure.
Yep.
You should see some positive results from that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like anything. It's YouTube is one of those deals you can do YouTube with, you can simply video everything with your cell phone and do stuff like that, and you can make videos and things like that. But then you need to go to, and I'm going to say this again, go to a really big channel.
Yeah.
Hey, Josh, and when I say big, I don't mean subscriber numbers. Don't even worry about the subscriber numbers. Go to a big channel that's got a lot of views on their channel, and then see how they video things. See how they're, it all works out for them.
Yeah.
And then you'll see what you, because I'm telling you, the adding the technology to it, adding the additional shots, different angles, different, the overheads and all that stuff
Yeah.
actually will help.
Hey, it's like me when I'm loading cows in the chute to work them, or if I'm loading them in a trailer, and I try to time it just right, is just as their head's coming in, I swap to the other camera.
Yeah.
I try to catch all that. And
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Different angles, different angles, different angles.
Yeah.
And
That's why when I get to cutting hay, I got the camera in there looking at the cutter blades.
yeah. And then you got, and if you're afraid to, a lot of people are afraid to put their phone where we'll put a GoPro.
Exactly. I'm not gonna put my phone where I put my GoPro.
I'll put my GoPro anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I've run over my GoPro with my dozer. I
Yes.
mean, the track has literally went over the entire GoPro.
Now, hey, don't get me wrong. I put the cheapest GoPro I have in those places. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That my uncle Ed's 5-year-old uses a phone to watch cartoons. Yes. The phone is great for, for stuff like that. If it wasn't for phones, YouTube would be, it wouldn't be much of a deal because not many people would watch anything. But for filming, you can get started with a phone, but you're going to get to a point eventually that you're going to want to start adding some different things. Loading steers in a chute is easier than hogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, hogs, they only will go where they want to go.
They want to go. Yeah.
And if a hog don't want to go, it's hard to make a hog go. But you can make a cow go. You grab hold of that tail, twist.
It'll go. Yep.
Yes, I had a great birthday, Josh. Thank you for asking. I had a good birthday. The only thing is I didn't catch any fish today. That's the only thing. Well, I think it's, what do you think? How long you gonna go?
Oh, I'm fixing to wrap it up. Like I told Mr. Paul, he come on before I went live. He was on here. Me and him sit here and talked. I told him, I said, I hadn't eat. I hadn't had a shower. I said, I got a wet butt. And I told him, what happened? Tractor. And I said, I'm not gonna be long. And of course, I mean, here we are 2 hours and almost 40 minutes later.
Yeah.
But I'm fixing to we fixing to wrap it up because
Yeah.
heck, I got a lot to do tomorrow. I gotta get up and get going in the morning.
If you got a GoPro 8, that's a fine camera. I use a GoPro 7 sometimes, and
I have a 5.
in various instances. I've got a 7 white that doesn't even have external batteries. You just plug the GoPro in and charge it. That's it. I mean, it doesn't have a battery you can take out of it. I think I gave $100 for it on Facebook Marketplace from somebody I didn't even know, and I use it, and it makes good video. It's not quite. It's a little shakier than the newer GoPros, but whenever you got it mounted on the top of a car running 100 and X amount of mile an hour in the 8th mile, then it's fine there.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I've had a lot of fun tonight.
Yes, sir. And like I said, I'll be on
live.
Yep, and like I said, I appreciate it, and I'll be on Thursday night. Like I said, it may be closer to 7:30ish.
It'd be fine. We can go for a bit. It's probably gonna go more than an hour.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. Well, if anybody else is interested in hearing stuff like that, hop in on Thursday night at 7-ish Central Time, and we'll go from there. So anyway, well, I'm gonna hop.
All right, Mr. Johnny. Appreciate it.
We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye, guys.
Well, I don't know where Chris has ran off too. I guess he may have had to go and let Faith out or something. I'm not sure. But I'm gonna call it a night, guys. So my sale is at 17%. Yeah. But I appreciate everybody that jumped on and watched tonight. And I appreciate Mr. Johnny and Paul and Chris and everybody that jumps on. And hey, if y'all ain't doing nothing Thursday night, y'all come on over and visit. Like I said, I'll probably jump up on panel with Mr. Johnny and whoever else is on there, and if he'll allow me. And I don't have the knowledge that Mr. Paul had. I mean, that Mr. Johnny has toward it. But like I said, it's a lot of mine has been a lot of learning on my own, and I've had help. And like I said, Amy, Leonard Mountain, Homestead. Amy and Chris. I mean, I've Amy helped me a lot when I was first getting started, and she'll be live tomorrow night as well. So y'all, if y'all have time, y'all jump on over there and catch Amy. What are you eating right there? Burrito?
There you go. You said you haven't eaten.
I haven't eaten.
I have to take care of the boss.
Yeah. Oh well. Well, I'm fixing to take care, and I'm fixing to go. That's what I was just telling everybody. I didn't know if you went to go let Faith out or what, but
yeah, I did, and then I had to go get her a hot dog, and I said, well, I haven't eaten, so anyhow.
Yep. Well, I'm fixing to, like I said, we fixing to call it, and
right.
I'm gonna go get me something to eat and get me a bath because I got to get up, and I'm gonna do some tree cutting tomorrow, and I don't really know. There's a lot. I'm kind of like a squirrel. I get to doing something and my mind goes to racing, knowing I need other stuff. Because the bad thing is, I go back to work Wednesday. So I said everybody, Amy goes on Wednesday. I said tomorrow night, but Amy's Wednesday. Y'all all know. But
yeah, 8 p.m.
Yep. But like I said, I got to go back to work Wednesday, a day early. Probably won't be completely all day, but anyway, once again, we hadn't got a full hitch off yet this year.
All
So,
right.
but it's coming.
I'll order those cream pies on Wednesday.
All right, and I may get you a video. I've got several shorts I've done, so what I'm probably gonna do is edit you one with some different shots and stuff in it, and then I'll send it over.
Well, give her a hug for me. Tell her I miss her.
All right, I will do it. And hey, guys, I appreciate y'all watching. I mean, I know it's a bunch of rambling and talking, and it may be boring sometimes, but anyway,
I knew that was coming.
That
is your word.
I can't help it. There's a lot of stuff. And too, and that drives me bonkers. I'm editing videos and I like like son of a bitch.
Well, but your favorite word is anyway, I've noticed.
Anyway, yeah, I tell them that's my brain buffering. So I'll see y'all, I'm sure, on Amy's live. We'll be on there Tuesday, tomorrow night. And Amy has What's Up Wednesdays on Wednesday. But anyway, till next time, guys.
Good night, everybody. Thank you to all my mods.
Yep.